Today on Moviewallas, we talk about Dìdi and Sing Sing. It's time for Moviewallas. Hi, this is Joe.
Hi, it's Rashmi.
And Yazdi as well.
Moviewallas is your weekly dose of film reviews, movie news, and general banter in theatres, on DVD, online streaming, or in the back of an airplane. If you love the movies, this show is for you.
And all of you.
And all of you. That was a really fun intro. Dìdi and Sing Sing.
I know. I thought you were going to say hello.
Desing.
It's the when you have movie titles that kind of come together like that
it's
in a
weird.
podcast. I remember at one point it felt like all of we could have made a story out of some of the movie titles.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I haven't had a Dìdi and Sing Sing for a long time, so I'm excited to talk about both of these movies for very different reasons.
Yes.
So, as alluded to in our last podcast, we're in a bit of a time crunch, so I'll start by just reminding everybody we are on YouTube. YouTube.com/Moviewallas. Woot! We're waving to you if you're watching this instead of listening. See, that's a benefit of watching on YouTube. You can see our faces. We can see us. You can see us as we hurl things at each other and general abuse in each other's direction, which you can't tell when you're just listening. So
this is true.
When I want to throttle Yazdi for giving me a lovely birthday present, which was Holy Motors t-shirt. Holy Motors was one of the first movies that made me angry on Moviewallas back in the day.
You still hate it.
You still hate it. I think we need to make Joe watch it again.
It was a movie that I found absolutely insufferable. And it's mainly because that stuff is over my head. A movie can be too art house and too intellectual for me very easily, and that was both.
I wonder if you'd like it if you watched it now.
Yeah, I think
that was very early days of Moviewallas.
It has been a journey. I won't say that my movie tastes haven't changed.
Sure. I was going to say, however, my T-shirt that I got it's like a DVD of all of the Quentin Tarantino movies. So thank you, Yazdi, for our birthday gift.
Yes, thank you, Yazdi.
Very, very thoughtful.
Movie birthdays.
Very thoughtful.
Yes, movie birthdays.
Thunder.
We didn't get you anything.
No, you did. You always do. Carry on. Let's jump in with our recommendations.
This isn't rushing. Let's rush.
Yes.
So let's jump into our segment of I Can't Find Anything to Watch on Video on Demand. And this is where we talk about things that are on streaming, that are in our streaming queues, movies that we think you should watch because, frankly, when
we've done the curating for you.
It's too much hassle.
Yeah.
So what you got in your queues?
Okay, so I'm starting. I watched a recent documentary. It's called The Accidental Twins. It is an interesting story about two sets of identical twins who are switched at birth in Colombia, and it explores their complex history and their new identities in this captivating documentary. It's extremely good. So again, two identical twins get swapped, so they become two. They are raised as two fraternal twins in different parts of Colombia.
That's the plot of the Shakespeare play. What is it? There have been movies based on that. The two sets of twins, one of each are swapped.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a good Indian film called Angur, which was fantastic. Yeah, this isn't funny when you when it really happens. Very interesting. It's just been released on Netflix.
Excellent.
The Accidental Twins.
Okay. My recommendation is sort of anachronistic because I'm always, protesting that Hollywood is jamming sequels down our throat and boo, and they should have more original content, blah, blah, blah. But the only time I've made an exception where why Hollywood have you not made a sequel yet is of the movie The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh, yeah.
Which I
love.
absolutely adore.
Yes.
It's a terrific movie.
This is the Henry Cavill one, right?
The Henry Cavill one.
Guy Ritchie directed, didn't he? No,
I don't think so.
It had that feel to it.
It totally has that feel. Armie Hammer is in it. Alicia Vikander is in it.
Yes.
It's based on the television series Man from U.N.C.L.E. from the 60s. And it's really a, competing spy CIA agent versus a KGB operative. It plays like a wonderful 60s set Bond film. It has a lot of humor in it. All the actors are outrageously good looking. who is the tall British actress who plays Lady Diana in The Crown? Anyway, so she's in it. She plays the villain.
Oh, Elizabeth Debicki.
Elizabeth Debicki is in
memory.
it. Yeah. It's such a fun movie. Again, if you're having dinner, you want to just close your mind from the craziness of the world and just want to watch a silly, smart caper of a movie.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's so much fun. A Man Called Uncle.
And it is Guy Ritchie directed.
Oh, it is.
Guy
Okay,
Ritchie,
good memory.
Yep.
And they need to make a sequel of this. It's ridiculous.
I don't think they can because Armie Hammer's.
Well, yeah. They can hire
cancelled.
someone else.
Yeah, it should have opened up a franchise.
Yeah,
I
it should
agree.
have.
Yeah.
We were hopeful. Joe, what's yours?
I can't help myself. I'm going to go hopelessly.
Christopher Nolan.
Oh dear, please don't.
Interstellar is being re-released. Did you know that, Joe?
Leave me
in the
alone.
theaters.
Leave me
No,
alone.
I'm serious. No, I'm
is
not
it really?
joking. Yeah. It's the 15th or 20th anniversary. A 4K remastered version of Interstellar is going to be in theaters.
Yazdi, why did you have to tell
I
him?
am so there.
Okay.
And you should be too.
I should be too, so I can understand it. Finally.
Yeah, exactly. For the 17th time.
I can't help myself because I didn't come prepared with a pick.
With a prick.
With a brick.
Be careful. This is a PG-rated podcast. But not. Interestingly enough, my pick is totally not PG-13. I'm going with the lowbrow movie White Chicks. It has a release on Netflix, and honestly, despite the preposterousness, I guess, of the
plot,
the premise here, this is a movie that we watched and giggled with over the years.
I watch it every time it comes on TV. I leave it on.
TV, and it is oddly compelling.
It's very compelling.
Look, it's stone cold classic
It's
of lowbrow
very
humor.
classic. It's so good.
Yeah, it's held up remarkably well.
The dance sequences, the prosthetics. It's great.
And it's got that Vanessa Carlton, the Thousand Miles.
I love that.
And who's the guy there?
Damon Wayans?
No.
Oh my goodness! It'll come to me. Goodness me. But anyway, if you haven't seen White Chicks, it is a horribly lowbrow comedy, but it's funny and jokes actually work, and it's insightful in so many different ways. It's not necessarily as articulate as something like Clueless in terms of its observational humor, but it does speak a lot about
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. He's absolutely
brilliant,
fantastic in this movie.
Yeah,
he plays it for laughs. He plays it with conviction, and So
it's Marlon Wayans and Sean Wayans.
Yeah.
Thank
not
you.
Damon Wayans.
The Wayans brothers. But Terry Crews is the one I was thinking of because he just makes me. He's
delightful.
He steals every scene in his own little way here. So
it's pretty offensive. But so don't come after us.
If the title of the movie offends you, then for God's sake, stay away from this one.
Right.
And the title of the movie is offensive, and so
it's of its time.
It's
of its time, and it's really
incorrect.
Funny. Yeah,
but it's a level above above slapstick, right? And it has some things to say, and I think it's quite cleverly written. So I'm going to go with that one. So Rashmi, your pick was.
The Accidental Twins. I was like, oh my God, what was it? Because I'd already...
You'd already moved on. Yes. You picked...
The Man from UNCLE, or The Man from Uncle, just recently dropped on Netflix.
And I'm ashamedly proud to recommend the movie White Chicks, also on Netflix. Okay. Let's talk about our movies this week. So are we going to go with Dìdi? Are we going to go with Sing Sing?
Dìdi.
Dìdi. Okay, let's go with Dìdi.
Okay, so let me introduce...
Not Diddy. Dìdi.
Dìdi.
Big difference.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Dìdi. So the Dìdi is Dìdi, the film, is from first-time feature director Sean Wang, and it's you watch the first 10 minutes of this movie and you will know that it is autobiographical. It's obviously this writer-director's own childhood growing up, and the movie is set in 2008, and it follows a few months in the summer before high school begins, and this teenager, 13-year-old impressionable boy, his sister leaves to go for college, and the movie is just a slice of life into those couple months as he learns the things his family cannot teach him, which is how to skate, how to flirt, and how to love your mom. This movie won the Audience Award at Sundance Film Festival. It has no big name actors, except for Joan Chen, who plays Didi's mom in the movie. And, you know, it's A24 miraculously picked it up, and it's getting a big release. The movie stars Isaac Wong, no relation to Sean Wong, who directed the movie, and Joan Chen as well as Shirley Chen. So this movie has a lot of weight on its shoulders to carry. Does it pull it off?
100%. I love this movie. This is such a beautiful exploration of how traumatic teenage years can be, and the highs and lows of life at that age, and the struggle of being an ethnic person in a very ethnic household. Just beautifully put together. It really gave me 8th grade vibes, which I also loved. I'd say that, you know, this genre, I think, Yazdi, you've said it in previous coming of age movies when we've talked about them. This is like a jam-packed genre, right? There's many movies that have been done in this genre, but for some reason, this one I really connected with. I love this movie. It's note perfect.
Joe?
Yeah, I like this one as well. I mean, obviously, it's very deeply personal. It's very open. It's
vulnerable.
It's vulnerable, and it's incredibly honest in so many of the little things that it does. Look, I mean, I won't say it's kind of cheating to kind of write about your own life, but you know it better than anything else. What is always fascinating to me is how well somebody can convey those moments of growing up, those moments where you know, there are paradigm shifts emotionally, there are paradigm shifts in maturity, and this movie just kind of takes us through that journey absolutely with skill and with panache. And so you know, these aren't easy feats to accomplish. 8th grade is a great reference. Rashmi, I hadn't thought about that, but now that you say that, yes, it made me feel like I was a 14-year-old boy. Again, with all of the awkwardness and growth that I had to have. So it almost overcooked in a couple places, but you know, I forgive it those foibles because I think they probably happened.
Yazdi, what did you think?
Yeah, this is what I wrote on my letterbox, that this is some of the best personal filmmaking that I've seen. And, you know, we've seen a lot.
Yeah.
And the film makes the case, again, that sometimes, like you said, Joe, all it takes is to tell a story well and with honesty. And in spite of the specificities of the people and the time and the space and the culture, it will hum with universal truths. Look, I did not grow up in the early 90s as an Asian teenager in Fremont, and yet I identified with 100 things in this film. And
Totally.
that's, I think, the power of this film. I think Sean Wang makes such an assured debut. If you watch his photograph online, he looks like he's 20 years old. He's 30 years old, but just what an assured, you know, filmmaking debut. I mean, the script here is so good. Like you said, of course, they always say in like creative writing that write about what you know, and sure, but how many of us can write this well about what we know, right? I mean, it understands so many things about being a teenager and being a child. I think this is how you should do a coming of age film. I adore this movie.
I was so impressed with the level of acting here. I believed every single main character, and I believed every single supporting character. They were people that we knew growing up, right? Every one of these people that you see are so well represented, and I love how diverse the cast is, and even again some of the little nuances around those, you know, extra characters, and just the world from Isaac Wang's eyes. I mean, he's such a great actor. He conveyed it perfectly. I didn't even think he was acting. It was incredible. I think Oscar season is upon us already. I think there's a good reason why it won at Sundance, and I think if it gains as much, you know, traction, then I think this one may be a sticker. to the end. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with all of that. I think performances are so key to something that gets in this close to the characters. And, we can argue, great direction and great script writing can augment a performance. And I don't know this actor from anything else. Is this also a debut?
He was in Good Boys, and he was in Raya and the Dragon, and
but he brings to the camera just an authenticity of
awkwardness,
this character, and even the way that the movie ends. So oftentimes. There are these kind of moments of redemption, but you know what? When I was growing up, the kid that wronged me didn't get his comeuppance, and I had to kind of live with that, and that was life. And I think that therein lies kind of the honesty here, in that not everything always works out for the Hollywood way, and you kind of have to go on anyway, and that's difficult, and that's part of what this movie does so well, is that. Not everything is, we don't get that moment where the bully gets their comeuppance. We don't get that moment of
redemption
in so many different areas, and to kind of be that to use that level of constraint in the writing, to not give the character those moments that we're all rooting for. At first felt unsatisfying, but it stayed with me because of that.
It would be such a concession otherwise.
And obviously we're not going to talk about the ending, and the ending is almost irrelevant, I think, as well, because it's more a journey than the destination.
Correct.
But about the ending, I will say this much, that only a movie with great confidence can end the way it does, right? It believes that that everything that you have experienced to bring you to this point is worth where you are, where you get to that point. The script is so lived in, and when you have this right combination with this actor. I mean, this actor, he's not a very vocal person. He's not somebody who's talking all the time. So the camera's constantly on his face, and you're seeing his reactions, and his reactions of fear and wonder, and hold on while I turn off. Sorry.
We're so live. This is live. This is live podcasting.
Yeah, my Roomba decided to take off.
I thought the house was taken.
I was like, what is going on?
Well, it's time for 7 a.m. and it's now out and about. But anyway, so I think, this feeling of shame and dejection and
not
regret.
Not sponsored by Roomba, by the way.
It's so good. The other thing which I really liked. So anyway, the movie is relying on this actor, like this kid. I think he's like 15 or 16 years old, to carry the whole movie, and he's totally up to the task. The other thing which I really liked about this movie is that the movie kind of comments on racism, and it comments on homophobia by not commenting on it. It's just it's just matter of fact. It's presented to you. This is how it was in the 90s. Take what you will with it. And I think that's the only way to kind of address that. You can't get preachy about it. You can't take sides. This is how it was. And I really appreciate that.
Another thing that really impressed me, sorry, Joe, is this is show don't tell done to the nth degree. It's so beautifully constructed in terms of like utilizing MySpace, the computer, what's going on around, the music. It's such a perfect construction to me, in the way that it kind of tells its story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think there's a lot of clever use of instant messaging.
Media,
I mean, again, 8th grade did that very well, with kids typing on phones and flashing up the graphics for that. The graphics here were very well done. Very nostalgic for the nerd in me.
I know.
I was like, oh my goodness, I never really did get into AOL Instant Messenger, but all of those noise and sounds and how chat used to work was great. So, and honestly, that was done with real integrity. I mean, I was a geek, and I still am, but I knew all of that tech stuff as an aside. But yeah, really, really, very. There's a lot of detail in this movie that makes it of its time and place. And like I say, I think it can only be that detailed when it is your life, things you remember.
Totally. That brother-sister relationship
is excellent.
It's excellently done.
Excellent. And the movie has so much honesty. Like he makes wrong choices all the time.
He's a little shit.
He's a shit. He's annoying. He's
not likable.
He's not likable at all. And the movie, to its credit, is like, this is how this kid is. This is how all kids are. And
this is how old people are.
You're an asshole when you're 13.
I love the fact that it understands. I was reminded, like, why I lied as a kid. Like, you lie sometimes just because you want to fit in. Sometimes you lie because you're in a bad mood and you know the consequences, but still, in the moment, as a teenager, your feelings are bigger than anything else in the universe. And the movie gets that. And it gets that the life of a teenager is about all the small things, the nods, the shake of the head. This is masterful, very accomplished.
Okay, that sounds like a wrap up, and I know where.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite films of the year. The rare 9 out of 10 for me. I can't wait to watch it again. I know nothing about skateboarding. I don't know anything about skateboarding in the early 90s. Doesn't matter. I don't know anything about Fremont. Doesn't matter. There's 100 things I recognize from my own childhood in this movie. This is just marvelous. And the only thing I forgot to mention is Joan Chen, who was a big, big actor in the 80s and 90s. She plays his mom here. And God, we've missed her so much in cinema. She is just note perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody should watch Dìdi. If you like cinema, you should watch Dìdi. D-I-D-I.
Joe.
Yeah, really good. It's chock full of little elements and moments. I mean, I think it's a little overstuffed in some ways. You reminded me about the parental storyline, which I think was a little underdeveloped there. I don't really know what it added to the movie, but there we go. It was if somebody's talking about their life, which it clearly seems to be the case here, then that's their life and that's what they remember. But yeah, excellent movie. It'll be among my better movies of the year as well. 9 out of 10.
9 for me as well. It's very efficient. An hour and 34 minutes. I thought we'd been in there for a couple of hours. Actually, it's so good at what it does in terms of pacing. I like the parental story, Joe.
Yeah, me too.
I think it was just enough. It gave us a flavor of who this person is and why this person is. Rush out and see this one. This is a great movie. Love it. 9 out of 10.
Awesome.
Sorry, I'll just say one other thing. It's good at documenting the highs in your life when you're a teenager, but it's even better at documenting the lows when you're a teenager.
Yes.
It's not afraid of getting pretty dark.
And the fitting in, the whole fitting in.
Yeah, the whole thing about fitting in. Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
Okay, can we do the next review in less than 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, Sing Sing.
Yes.
Okay, this is an American drama film directed by Greg Quedar, who co-wrote the screenplay with Clint Bentley, and it's based on the real-life rehabilitation through the arts program at a maximum security prison called Sing Sing. The film centers on a group of inmates who are involved in the creation of theatrical stage shows through the program, and it actually stars Coleman Domingo, who I love, and Paul Raci, alongside many real-life formerly incarcerated men who were themselves alumni of the program during their incarceration, including Clarence Divine I. Macklin and Sean San Jose. So again, directed by Greg Quedar, screenplay by Clint Bentley and Greg Quedar, and it's based on the story by Clint Bentley, Greg Quedar, Clarence Macklin, John Divine G, which is the character that Coleman Domingo plays. And yeah, it's been released. It was premiered at the 2023 Toronto Film Festival. Another one picked up by A24. Joe, what did you think of Sing Sing?
I struggled with the movie at the beginning because I couldn't quite understand what it was. And when I understood what it became, this movie kind of thrust its hand into my heart and absolutely destroyed me. In fact, Rashmi, I don't know if you realized, but on the car journey home, I was having a hard time not bawling my eyes out. I was really very, very emotionally affected by this. This is a remarkable movie. It made more so when I kind of understood what I was actually watching, and I didn't know that early on, which is why I couldn't quite settle into its tone and why it was so focused on this very small, compact little universe. Yeah, this has really moved something within my core.
Wow.
I'm even finding myself emotional
Yeah, I
talking
can
about it
see
now.
that. Yazdi.
Yeah, this one is another winner. I think this movie demonstrates more than anything else how you can save a film by leeching the last drop of sentimentality out of it. I think this movie could have so easily been kind of a Hallmark Channel version of this story. And, this movie completely avoids being sentimental about things. And, this whole, it could have kind of wallowed in this schmaltzy message about, redemption of the incarcerated through art. But you see the redemption, but you see it in these actors, in the story, with how things unfold. Nobody actually gives speeches, and it's in what you see that you take away. You don't need it to be told aloud. There are many things which are unique about this. This entire movie was developed over 7 years by workshopping, except for Coleman Domingo, and let's all together say a prayer about to thank the world for his formidable talents. I mean, he's incredible. But almost every other major actor are non-actors. They're people who actually played these actors. And as a filmmaker, this couldn't have been easy, right? It's impossible to take non-actors and have them play this, train them to play themselves. But it pays huge dividends because they're invested in playing themselves. The character who plays Divine Ice, whatever. What's his name?
Divine Eye.
Divine Eye.
Yeah.
Was in real life the Domingo Coleman character in the real world. So there's a lot of interesting things which have been done here. It's almost a new kind of filmmaking, but all of that doesn't matter because the movie ultimately is very, very powerful. Kudos, because it's all just a group of people acting. That's all it is. And yet it packs a punch.
Yeah. This ain't no Shawshank Redemption, but it doesn't matter because what it does so well. I am so impressed with this movie. Right from the outset, there's something about the musicality. There is music in every single scene, I think, except one or two. I was very conscious of the music. It was this beautiful score. I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but it was just like resonating to your point, Joe. It resonates with your heart.
It was a string score, which was the whole time.
Like beautiful. Like you're watching something unfold and unfurl, and it's so delicate. It's about a bunch of men acting in a prison. There isn't anything more macho in some ways, yet it's so delicate in the way that it handles the material, and it brings you along for the ride. The other person I was absolutely impressed with was Paul Raci, and I kept thinking, where have I seen him? He was the main character, and he was in also The Sound of Metal.
Movie.
Yes. Such a great actor. Like just phenomenal in his portrayal of being this kind of teacher, director, keeper of these prisoners. It's such an interesting story. I mean, Joe gets a bit annoyed because I always watch those prison shows. I'm fascinated with incarceration. I don't know why. But again, it just raised all those feelings in me about like, is incarceration the right thing or the wrong thing? How many people get wrongly accused and spend their life in prison? It's not about that, but this is a fantastic movie. This is phenomenal. I'll say it again, Oscar season is upon us. I mean, it's early,
Domingo.
but I think this is great fodder. Yeah.
Another movie, again, I'm not giving anything away. It has the confidence to end the way it does.
Yeah.
And just simply ending where it does.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
You don't need anything
You don't
more.
need anything else. Exactly.
Yeah. And they clearly got around a lot of challenges. The only big name actor here is Coleman Domingo. And apparently he could not be there because this was made with, 5 cents budget. He could not be there for the whole time that they were filming. So they actually very cleverly built into the script a portion where, his character goes missing. So they have, I'd listened to the NPR podcast and I learned that how they kind of got around practical issues to put this movie together. It's quite remarkable.
Very good. Anything else to say on this one?
No, I mean we've said it all. I mean it's a very unusual kind of film, and I think that was the other thing that is it's a little it requires patience, and
it unfolds.
It does, and again, I mean, it's central to the message of the movie, but the power of art and the power of
Yes.
you know, the social message that it provides here is that, you know, I mean, these people may be incarcerated for have done horrible things, and yet, you know, here we are, kind of seeing them grow and develop as people, and you kind of wonder if life had turned out differently for them, how things would. And so, you know, that theme of and, you know, one of my favorite stories of all time, as I'll always say, is Les Miserables, right? You know, the Victor Hugo story, not just a musical, but that kind of theme of injustice and the social. You know, because I find myself very easily on the wrong side of that, right? I'm very judgy. I'm like, well, they did this thing, they should be punished. But then when you're brought back into the humanity of it and the pure humanity of what it is and what this program does and brings out in people, it makes me rethink my entire life. And any movie that helps me grow in that way is a remarkable thing. So I'll wrap up. I mean, it's probably the most emotional I'll get about a movie this year.
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, I am. I'm really moved by it. I'm like, you know, I've got this lump, like
I know,
this little spasm in my throat as I talk about it.
That's worth going on the YouTube for.
It's well, I'm not sure how well I'm showing it, but it's shaken me, and for that, you know, I have to give it a 9 out of 10, and I don't know why I wouldn't give it 10. In fact, you know, I will be really, really very upset if this movie isn't on the best movies list of the year for all of the awards.
Yeah.
Because it's a crime for it to be looked over, and it's a gentle thing. So I'm hoping I don't build it up too much for everybody, but it's an incredibly powerful piece of filmmaking.
Yazdi.
Yeah, 8.5 out of 10, which I'm going to bump up to a 9. I mean, it's very rough around the edges, right? It's
absolutely.
It's made with, like I said, with
3 cents.
With 3 cents.
Yeah.
But it's a thing of little things accumulating to tremendous power. Like the last half hour of the movie are just, you know, incredible. Like you forget you're watching a movie. So I think if you love cinema, you should watch Sing Sing. You know, this is how you save a movie from like a terrible Disney-fied retelling. I keep going back to, in anybody else's hands, this movie would have just been some nonsense, you know, schmaltzy stuff, but it's just instead tremendously powerful.
9 from me as well. This is incredible movie making, and Oscar season, again, I'll say it is upon us. I really feel like we're going to start getting some really exceptional movies, and this is one of them. 2 9s. 2 lots of 3 9s. I don't know we've done that in a show.
Not for a while.
Not for a long time.
Not for a while. Yeah. This is that time of year.
And that Coleman Domingo had better be on Best Actor list.
Oh, he will be.
There'll be
for
a riot.
For sure.
I'm going to lead the riot.
Be careful what you say these days, Yazdi.
No, for the good of cinema, people need to recognize this actor.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. YouTube, reminder, if you haven't checked us out, do. If you're listening in the car, thank you. But also shame on you. Watch us on YouTube. So again, thank you for watching, listening. We will be back again soon with more reviews and movie news and general banter. Until then, it's too many movies, too little time. A goodbye from me.
And me.
And me as well.